Hello, you guys. Welcome back to another video slash episode on this podcast slash YouTube channel. Whether you're watching me here on YouTube or listening on Spotify, I appreciate you. And let's get right into this episode. May has been a really great, really fun month so far, and I wish the same for all my viewers. Take that time and bloom all spring. We're almost in summer. Yeah, we're almost in summer. So excited. As a SoCal resident, the weather's been a little weird, but I digress. It's moving in the right direction. As you guys know, when it's a podcast episode, it's straight from the brain, straight from the heart, all that good stuff. And today I have more reflections from me for you that have been on my mind that I'm here to share, that I hope to influence and energize and liberate anyone else, especially any other women. When I think about relationships as an emotional bitch, as an emotional girlies rise. Let me tell you something. If you're someone who knows me, who's like my friend or a coworker, I feel like I don't give crier. I don't give crier. I don't give sensitive. I don't give or at least if they know I'm like that, they've probably never seen it. Let me tell you. Ask anybody of every day. I'm such a lover girl that it's like when I'm in love, when I'm in a relationship, I get so sensitive with that person. It's like cry over little things that hurt my feelings, cry over things that make me happy, cry over things that happen to them because I care so much. I'm still a Scorpio. Everybody is all like, Scorpios are like the fire signs. I'm still a water sign, bitch. Don't get it twisted. I'm a water sign that will sting you. How about that? And the people closest to me know I can be a lot. Like I would always say, I think one of my main flaws when it comes to conflict or not feeling good, feeling angry about a situation, I'm low key like really hard to speak to if here's the thing. Okay. I feel like it's not easy to like tick me off. It's not easy to cut me super deep to where I can't accept an apology. Little things, misunderstandings. I'm a talker. Like it's really crazy. Like y'all, I scare them and I date. Like they'll be like, you was dead serious bringing up an issue and like 5 minutes ago, and now you're like giggling, and like it's scaring me. But seriously, like we apologize if it's something. I see you get the point. Move on. But if you really have me up or it's like something continuously hurting me, I'm that person that is really hard to talk to because even though someone can be sorry and tell me what they're going to do differently and all that, I still just be mad and be like, okay, because I am an acts of service girly down to a T. I'll do this, I won't do this again, I'll make it better, I won't, okay, show me. But baby, how is he gonna show you in the next 10 minutes? Like it's something you have to see. Like I get like that a lot with men and also with myself when I'm feeling depressed, anxious, especially like when I was going through healing from my abusive relationships. When I'm like really upset, even though like I said I feel like it's hard to get me to that point, I like self-deprecate. Like, no, they're acting like this now, so how is it ever going to be different? Or with myself, I'm like, I'm feeling like this now. Like, no, 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 it's never going to be different. Like, I'm not very open to advice or like move, like, like because I just want to see it. I want to feel it. And you can't change how I feel in the moment. I just have to take a minute, get over it. I'd say that's one of my flaws because I just feel so deeply and I think so much and I carry the golden rule of treat people how you want to be treated, and I'm so mindful and I always put myself in other shoes that again when I self-deprecate on my own because of how I've been hurt, or when I'm standing face to face in a confrontation about how someone's going to change how they've hurt me, it's hard for me to believe things will change. Like, I can most definitely be a lot. I'm a crybaby. I'm an acts of service girl. I am an empath. I am a put myself in someone else's shoes. I'm a lot. But also, as you can see, a lot of those qualities I named, also me being a lot and being a crier and feeling deeply, I can also reciprocate a lot of what I want. That's always what I wanted to feel in love, is just like feeling like someone like me who understands giving me that space, who understands I need time, and who will keep coddling me or, until like just do what they can to try to make me feel better. Whether that's give me space or reassure me, because that's how I feel when I really hurt people deeply. I don't mean to keep being like reminding them that I'm sorry or reminding them that I'm going to do this. Like, reassurance isn't my top love language, but you get what I mean? And like I said, when I self deprecate and turn really hard to talk to, like I said, it takes a lot to get me to that point, especially with men. Most likely, I got to that point because I already told this nigga 8 times that I didn't like it, and you did it again, or you just did some variation of again. It takes a lot. Like I said, I scare men. Like I I scare men I dated. I can't tell you how many times I brought up an issue. They're like, you shed a tear, look like you want to kill me, then 5 minutes later we're laughing and stuff. And I'm like, well, yeah. Because you explained what you mean and you apologize and we're good. Like, I don't self deprecate over everything. But when I do, all I'm trying to say is I'm not perfect. I'm very emotional. I feel very deeply. It's a love hate within myself. But because of that, emotional safety is a need for me. A need. I can't be with someone who's like, you can't bring up something you already brought up to me again. It's gonna annoy me. It's gonna irritate me. Dealt with people like that. I can't deal with the you don't have to come to me for everything. Like, you have to just learn how to work some stuff out on your own because I can't blah blah blah. Nigga, you're in the relationship with me. Don't like I've had exes like that. Girl, don't ever let a guy gaslight you like that. What do you mean? I can't just come to you about every little thing that bothers you. True. Well, actually, bitch, I should be able to. But a lot of times men be saying that when it's like stuff that bothers you about them or something they did. Talking about not everything you're they're in the relationship. Yes. Do you want me to go and talk shit with my friends, or do you want me to talk to you and not be passive aggressive and work it out? Which one do you want? And it also comes from my upbringing. I've always been super open with my emotions as a child, even more so than before. With the crying, with the getting mad, I'm 22 years old, I'm an adult. I've worked so hard on my emotional regulation, how I used to act in younger relationships, how I used to act as a child. Because although emotions are great and we're here to feel them, how you present them and the ways you act on them is what is not okay. Okay, sometimes when we're expressing them the wrong way, when we're being aggressive, when we're yelling, when we're, unless someone needs that, because sometimes they do. And I've been met with crying as a kid. Oh my God, she's crying again. You can't just be crying about everything. Or people like being unfazed by my crying just because it happened so much. So that doesn't mean I can't do it again and again and again. And I feel like the little comments that I've heard from being an emotional child of like people getting tired of it or saying I'm crying over stuff I can't have carried over into my adult years, and people I've dated hearing similar stuff. And it cuts deep. And I'm a very open minded, empathetic yell. Okay. Like, I remember my first relationship, like, I touched on this so much. My emotional regulation was horrible. Like, I've always been a super, super nice girl, but my emotional regulation was not the best. I was not the kindest, when I had my first love and all that. And I also came from a very female dominated household. Boys are outnumbered. I got a brother and a dad, but then I have a sister and a mom and me. So what? Um, so I came from a very, you're the prize, you're smart, you're beautiful, they need to do stuff for you, blah, blah. I also come from a very amazing dad that I see do stuff for my mom, no questions asked, treat her nicely, so always support her. So high standards and also confidence instilled in me that I used to sometimes, I think, over carry the great upbringing I had and see it so black and white. Like, they're mean to me, cut it. They act like this. They want to act like this towards me. Cut it. You want to do a little disrespect me a little bit. Cut it. And I love that Scorpio alpha female energy, but I've learned being through relationships, meeting different people, being with different partners, loving people through different things and different traumas that it's not always so black and white, right? It is not always so black and white. People go through things that make them this way. When people act out with you, it's not always because of you, it's because sometimes they're triggered by a healing space. Toxicity is all they know, or they're repeating stuff that they've seen growing up that they don't realize is problematic and is not going to work with you. You know, it's not always just about you and it's your fault or it's their fault. So much deeper what people go through and don't talk about. So I'm over here coming from very emotional, miss cut them off, miss confident, and then dealing with people in the real world, seeing people who have unfortunately had harder lives than me and different traumas than me. Then also, like I said, I had a great childhood. My parents protected me amazingly, but the trauma that I have came from adulthood, abuse, SA, um, backstabbing, all that came like post high school for me. All those experiences that sent me to therapy and gave me anxiety and stuff, that all happened to me not later in my life because I'm like young, but you know, later in my life. And so now I'm here like with all these relationships and traumas from these relationships, but then also the things instilled in me as a kid, but then also a balance, like I said, of not seeing everything just so black and white and people act this way and don't let anyone like, but it's so hard to find that balance of like, I need emotional security to cry and to bring things up that might not be ideal and to have hard conversations. And I see after the last relationship I went through, this is literally non-negotiable at this point in my life because like I said, I came from, I feel like being a little too extreme in my earlier relationships to now being a little too understanding with these niggas. And I need to find a balance. Like, I realize in the dating world, I know emotional security, maturity, that safe space is something that I desperately need to work out. I'm not suffering in silence ever again or shrinking myself or gonna go crazy by myself when I'm supposed to be with someone loving and supporting me. I'm not doing that. I'm at the point in my life where I'm not doing that. And I don't necessarily think it's my fault for always falling into these situations because a lot of men like to cosplay like they're safe. They like to cosplay. I love a girl who can communicate. I love a girl who can tell me what's wrong until you don't. You like it when it's not that deep, but then when it gets deep and you realize I'm gonna talk and I'm gonna have these conversations whenever I want and whenever I need, and it's not when you need, then it's a problem. And like I said, it's not all about me. I do also understand the balance. To me, it's not about having these conversations or how often we have them. It's also about how you have them, ladies, gentlemen, non-binary people, anybody. For instance, bringing up something that irritates you or is mad, you're not gonna get, your partner is gonna get irritated with you if they're not emotionally, like someone who's not emotionally mature will just get irritated that you're bringing up something you have an issue with, period. But someone who maybe could get irritated if you bring it up, but every time you bring it up, it's accusing. It's what is this? It's blah, blah, blah. There's a way to talk to people. Ask questions. Hey, I saw this. I don't want to overthink. I don't want to blah, blah, so I just wanted to tell you this and see what you think. It's different than what the is this? Like, boys always do this to me. People always do this to me. Like, there's a difference. And I know. Healing, therapy, control, it's hard. So I know this is my answer when it's like, what am I looking for in a relationship? I need that emotional safety so bad. But yet I feel like I keep getting falling into traps with men who are not emotionally safe. And I really feel like I went through this in my last relationship. In my last relationship, we all date the same guy at the beginning, y'all. The I love a woman who can communicate. I love a girl who tells me what she wants. Yeah, maybe the first or second time. Again, oh, I love that. I'm open to that, blah blah blah. And This man was like that. He gave me that whole talk, but my last relationship, for the first time ever, I dealt with dating someone through some crazy circumstances, like their life being in a terrible place. And on top of that, I dated with someone with actual diagnosed mental illness, mental issues. I'd never dealt with that before. I'd never been close with someone like that before. So it was really hard for me, especially in that one, to find the difference because I was met with the, I love a girl who can communicate. I love blah, blah, blah. Of course, you can always come to me for everything. But then but because of my illness or because of what I struggle with, blah, that's my excuse for if I get mad or if I don't want to talk about it. Or blah. And it was just like, very, very confusing to me. Yeah, there was this one specific, oh my God, like the older boyfriend dynamic. That's all I gotta say. Thank you guys for all the love on that video. My last video that hit 1K. I feel like sometimes when you're dating someone older, they think they know everything, especially if they're a man on top of that, the ego. And I remember there were situations where we both had a similar trauma from the past, right? And when I would come to him about it and stuff, he would try to be all high and mighty. Oh, like we relate on this. I know about this, but what you got to do, you can't let your emotions get the best of you. I'm not like that. This is not going to happen. Blah, blah, blah. He would always just instill in me, like, I'm here for you, but you can't let your emotions get the best of you. You can't, blah, 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 blah. You got to control that, blah, blah, blah. And like sometimes because we had a similar trauma, I feel like we would trigger each other. It'd be like I would be triggered, then he would be triggered, and then it would just be like, well, who gonna pick up the pieces? Because we're both like triggered, which is understandable because we both went through some real shit. But it's like I feel like I eventually became the person when people are always like relationships 50-50. I eventually became the 80-20 in situations like that where I was like, you know what? He was very helpful with that trauma, being in a relationship with someone who didn't give me that trauma, and also just all the work I'd already done. When I was with that person, I learned more and more that they were safe in that way. It was easier for me to not overthink when it came to these traumas. However, it would be situations where it's like, okay, I feel triggered for a second, but I'm not, like, you always tell me don't, so I don't. Like, I'm at that point when I don't. He was not, right? So here I am, controlling myself, controlling my overthinking, masking my emotions, even though I might particularly be upset or uncomfortable. But I'm like, I'm not trying to make you upset or uncomfortable. So I'm controlling it and I'm keeping a straight face or whatever. But then he's on the other hand, Mr. You gotta do this, you gotta control this, you can't overthink this. You're upset and you're visibly making the energy different and you're visibly doing all those things, but you're over here telling me I can. It doesn't make sense. To me it was like, so we both have trauma in the same subject. We both have trauma in the same subject. You're telling me I can't let it get to me and let it get to me emotionally and show emotion. You're always voicing that to me. But you can let it and you can have a reaction and you can make me feel weird about it and you can change the whole vibes and make the whole thing a Debbie Downer, but you're telling me to not do that and not let it get to me, which makes absolutely no sense. Because again, if it was on the other end where I was like, I am uncomfortable with this and I am upset, I do feel triggered, then he would just be like, well, I feel triggered because you feel triggered and you can't feel triggered or show that you're triggered because now I'm triggered and I'm saying triggered a lot. But it literally made no sense. It was like, you have to keep a straight face so I don't feel bad, but I don't have to keep a straight face to make you feel safe, even though we have trauma in similar ways. And that used to feel so unfair to me. Like, I used to do it and I feel like I mastered it because I loved this person so deeply and I felt like I had to be there for them. But it's always just like, what about me? That literally makes no sense. It didn't give me emotional safety. Like, it was like he was teaching me to mask my emotions, but he don't got to mask his. But then if I don't mask mine, then we're both masked, and it just made no sense. I'm so tired of men preaching what they want in any aspect, but especially in emotionally, how they want to feel, how they want girls to treat them, how they want girls to change this and do this. And they just expect that safety and that nurturing from us as women. But you can't do that for me. I'm so tired of it, guys. Like, I'm so tired of always like dating guys where it's like, I feel like at the beginning they do get me and they do know how to comfort me and they do. And then it's like, again, I never asked for something I can't give back that I'm not going to work on back. But then all of a sudden you want all this that you can't give me. I'm pouring my whole cup, it's empty and yours is full. And I don't like that. I don't like, and it's been different with different guys, but like I said, for this specific ex, I remember again, just in the back of my mind and always making excuses of I act like this and I do this and stuff because of my mental issues. My brain is different. You haven't been through what I've been through, blah, 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 which is all true. But again, I just find myself having too much compassion to where you got me fucked up. Because why am I giving this much and pouring out all my cup just for it to be empty? You can't pour a little bit back in. You can't pour half. We could both have half and half. No, it's literally like you just expect me to like, no, not doing that shit. I never know. I don't want to ever speak negatively on people with mental health issues or people that I don't understand or have not walked like a day in their life, because I do have a privilege and not, although everybody has mental health issues, they can be depressed, they can be anxious. I don't personally deal with something diagnosed from like the trauma I've had, you know? So I don't get it. But I was over here having so much compassion of these words and using it as an excuse of why this is why I act like I would always just be like, I'm always betting on people, which is the opposite of what you're supposed to do. Do it or get out. Literally. Like, where it's like, oh, emotional maturity, because I didn't have the same emotional maturity I had 5 years ago. I'm always like, well, it can be taught. It can, maybe they're acting like this again and again and again, but maybe eventually they'll get it and they will start being the person I need and they will. And I'm feeling like that, actually. And all of the men who have ever treated me like that. Because you know what? I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, in some of my earlier relationships, I did not have that emotional safety that I should have provided either. Because I said, product of my environment, stuff that I should have unlearned. But I'd say in my more recent relationships, because like I said, I'm not the same person I was 4 or 5 years ago. I've been in situations with men where it's like they didn't have to keep asking or waiting for me to give that. I gave it from the jump. I gave it from the jump. Like I said, I've grown. Like, I literally, with my last partner and how crazy he used to act, I would always literally think and just tell him, I'm like, dang, like, you acting this way and blaming it on mental health and stuff. I'm like, do you know how crazy our fights would have been if it was Alisha 4 years ago who did not have this emotional regulation? She would have yelled back at you. She would have cussed you out. But here I am just taking a cussing because I'm trying to keep in mind all these. No. And no. My emotional safety is so non negotiable these days. And I feel like I almost always feel like this when I'm single and I'm liberated and no man is stressing me out. But it's so hard. Like I said, when you fall in love, like last time I was in love, loving someone through circumstances that I couldn't relate to at all, where I just wanted to be there and be the best person. And even if that meant, like it always does, I hate being a lover girl. Even if it meant like not being there enough for myself or what I deserved. And I don't want to keep doing that. But it's so hard when you're in love. But like I said, the things I ask for and the emotional safety that I need, there's someone where I won't have to ask for that. He'll just already come ready, hot and ready like a Little Caesar's pizza. And like Ariel said, I don't know when, I don't know how, But I know it'll be here because ain't no way. I don't know, but I know eventually, like, divine timing is not up to me, but I'm a believer in law of attraction. You keep putting out what you want. You keep, like, it'll eventually come. That's what I believe in. That's my spiritual belief. And 20 my girlies, guys, non-binary people who are a little bit more active in their dating life than me, I hope you can find the same liberation as me, as to not make that, if you are just as in touch and deep and emotional and empathetic as me, make that a priority for you too. It is not the first time he or she talks to you crazy, the first time they get mad. No, like, yes, I believe that people aren't perfect, and things don't always we don't always speak the same language to people we don't know, or we're who are new to our lives. You know what I'm saying? Different people came from different backgrounds, different families, how you speak. Um, it's not always perfect, but I swear, like, I just feel like you shouldn't have to tell them more than once. Like, with emotional safety, I'm not playing anymore. I'm really not playing. I don't give what you got going on. If you guys kept up with my content, you knew the last man shouldn't even been trying to get at me in the first place. Like, I don't know. It's just so hard to find the balance of Scorpio, you're gone, you're done, to people are human and humans make mistakes and humans have different. But at the same time, even sometimes when I think of that, I'm like, but are you thinking about that for me? Are you giving me the same grace? Like, oh, maybe I should be nicer to her. Or maybe I should be more understanding because the type of relationships and abuse and stuff she's came from. I feel like a lot of people, it's like they don't think of me like that. They just think of me solely as what they have made up in their head. And that's not my problem anymore. All you emotionally immature men should go and date an emotionally. I literally, I literally used to eat my ex up saying this. Like, I used to literally be like, I don't know why I still stayed with them saying this, but I ate. I literally used to be like, the way you talk and scream and do all this disrespectful shit. I'm like, why is he with me? I'm like, why is he with a girl who can regulate and remain calm in these situations? I was like, you need a crazy ass girl who's gonna scream and disrespect you back, and you guys can be toxic and scream at each other and have noise complaints and um hopefully not bring a child into that like, you guys can go do that over there. I was like, I deserve a man who can remain calm and regulate their emotions and have some critical thinking like me. I would literally be like, this is like, before it was over, I already knew it was a terrible match. But the things you do for love. Fuck that. For real. But yeah. I know I was all over the place. These are straight from the dome, straight from the heart, but I know it spoke to who it was supposed to speak to. And yeah, I just hope you guys take away something positive, take away something liberating from this video, because that's always the goal. Thank you guys so much for listening. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Literally, let me know if you've had a similar situation, if you're similar to me in the ways I need things or the ways I've been told about my emotions. Let me know. I love to connect. This is why I do it. Don't forget to check out any other video on this channel or my social medias linked down below. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.